Hello and welcome to this webinar on the Document Transfer System, or DTS, an overview for Early Intervention Service Coordinators. This webinar is presented by the Division of Early Childhood Education of the New York City Department of Education. In this webinar, we aim to provide instructions on how to use the DTS. We want to ensure that you have proper use of the DTS to support the smooth transition of families to preschool and to answer frequently asked questions and provide resources to help you use the system. Today, we will go over an overview of the document transfer system, how to use the DTS, frequently asked questions, troubleshooting and technical support, and resources to use the DTS properly. So what is the document transfer system? The DTS is a secure web-based system that EI service coordinators use to transmit documents electronically to the DOE. As of August 2020, the Bureau of Early Intervention requires all service coordinators to use the DTS exclusively to submit documents to the Committee on Preschool Special Education, or CPSE. This means eliminating the former general practice of faxing or even emailing EI documents to the DOE. The DTS has key features and advantages that are beneficial to the transition process. By securely transferring documents digitally, the system expedites a smooth transition from EI to preschool. With the DTS, service coordinators provide vital information about the child and family, which facilitates outreach by DOE staff, allowing them to prioritize and track progress as families move through the CPSE process. Service coordinators also receive an email confirmation upon successful transmission of documents, and this minimizes the loss of information and increases accountability between the DOH and DOE, which ensures no documents, quote-unquote, fall through the cracks. In order to meet EI's requirements, all service coordinator provider agencies must be added to the DTS, and all service coordinators must have a DTS account. EI's expectations regarding the use of the DTS means the CPSE will no longer accept and process documents submitted via fax or email. Although the mode of transmission has changed, there are principles and practices that have stayed the same, and there are some that are different. What has stayed the same? The roles and responsibilities regarding EI to preschool transition remain the same. All EI policies and procedural expectations remain the same. Data entry for the case management systems, as well as file upload policies and protocols, continue. Document storage policies and procedures continue. And as with the fax, the DTS provides one-way transmission of documents, and information cannot be modified and retrieved once it is sent. What is different with the DTS? The mechanism for transmitting documents is more reliable and secure because, unlike the fax, it is electronic. Service coordinators have to enter accurate data during transmission. Referrals will only be accepted within the appropriate timelines. Service coordinators receive email confirmations, which can be uploaded to EI data systems to document in place of fax confirmations. And, as we mentioned, the DOE receives more information about children coming from EI. The DTS has three types of users who have different roles and functions. First, the DOHMH central administrators create and remove agencies in the roster of agencies, and they manage the agency administrators identified by each provider agency. Second are agency administrators who are able to update their personal contact information, update their agency's contact information, and manage SCs by inviting, re-inviting, or deactivating providers. Then there are the service coordinators who are able to update their personal information and upload and transfer documents and provide key child and family information to the DOE. In order for the DTS to function properly, make sure that you are meeting these system requirements. Your device is required to have Windows 7 or Windows 10 or Mac OS for an operating system. For internet browsers, Google Chrome and Safari can be used for both PCs and Macs, and Microsoft Edge can be used only with PCs. Although the DTS may work with other browsers or operating systems, you are likely to encounter problems when using them. This information and the rest of the content of this webinar can be found in the Guide to the Document Transfer System, which is linked to the top of the DTS webpage. In this next section, we will discuss how you can use the DTS. To access the DTS, you must have an active account. For those who work with multiple agencies, you must have a separate account for each of the agencies responsible for your cases. To access the DTS, you must be added as a user by your agency administrator by sending you an invitation. When you get the email invitation, click on the prompt to complete registration. You will need to enter your name, phone number, and set up your password and security questions. It is extremely important that you keep a record of your password and security questions, as these are needed in the event that you need to reset your password. After creating the profile, you'll receive a confirmation email prompting you to log in. To log in thereafter, go to www.nycenet.edu/EIDTS. Remember that your username is your email address, and this cannot be changed. Keep your contact information up to date so that DOE staff can successfully reach you if needed. Once you have created your account, we encourage you to bookmark the DTS so you can easily access the system. Open the site, select the star icon on the right-hand side of your browser search bar, and when you do this, this will create a quick bookmark on your browser that will quickly take you to the DTS whenever you need to use it. Service coordinators are primarily responsible for uploading documents to DTS. Here are the steps to submitting documents to the DOE. First, you should select your agency. Your agency information will be preloaded and you don't need to enter it. And as a reminder, if you work for only one agency, then proceed to the next step. But if you work for multiple agencies, you need to make sure that you select the SC agency for the child whose documents you are transmitting. Step 2, you must select the documents. Let's go to the site. You need to sign in first. When you are signed in and you want to upload the documents, you need to go here to the right side and click on Upload Documents. Make sure that the agency reflects the agency for which you are assigned this case. So for my purposes, I will use this. And once you have chosen the right profile, then you click on Select Files and then choose the documents that you wish to upload. You can select all of these, or you can drag all of them and click Open, or you can drag all of them over to the document transfer system. Now you see all of the documents here, and then you have to correctly identify each file individually. As you may have noticed, we have each document individually attached. Do not send a file with multiple documents in one file. Here is the notification. Here is the referral form. Here is the transition conference form. And now that we have selected the files that we want to attach, then we have to enter child information. So we can enter test. The 6-digit ID number. Date of birth, let's make today. 730. The child's address. Oops. Sorry, it will give you a prompt if you are missing information. Select the district and date of referral to EI. Let's just pick a random number. Parent's name, relationship to the child, a phone number, and then you have to select if you have received consent for the documents that you are sending. Select the parent's preferred language, the child that the evaluation for EI was conducted in. If the child has an auto-eligible condition, then you can mark that. Let's just pick one. And if the child is in temporary housing, you should indicate that it's yes. Same thing, if the child is in foster care, then you can enter yes. And then if the surrogate is assigned, first name and the last name. And the foster care agency. And upload the documents. And now you see that the documents were uploaded successfully. Once you do that, then you will receive a confirmation email. If you check your confirmation email and you don't see a document that was that you intended to submit and it did not show in the list, then you should resubmit that. If you don't receive a confirmation immediately, email the preschool sped systems help at schools.nyc.gov so that the DOE can provide you information regarding your transmission. Documents required by the EI program to document transitions must be uploaded through the DTS. These are documents listed on page 378 of the EI Policy and Procedure Manual. They are the notification of potential eligibility to the CPSE, consent form for transition conference, the consent for transmittal of EIP evaluations and records, and the form for parent referral to the Committee on Preschool Special Education if the parent wants to make a referral. Please note that it is not necessary to transmit the written notification and opt-out form. Submitting this form does not prompt the DOE staff to reach out to the family. If the family decides to opt in, then you must transmit the notification of potential eligibility to the CPSE. This eliminates the risk of sending confidential information if a family decides to opt out of notification. If you wish to proceed to sending the opt-out form, make sure the parent did not select the opt-out option. The DTS uses referral timelines established by the New York State Education Department and reflects guidance found in the New York City Early Intervention Program Policy and Procedure Manual. This means that the DTS will only accept referrals when they are submitted within the appropriate timelines. When referrals can be submitted is determined by the child's age eligibility date and not their chronological age. Age eligibility is the earliest date a child can begin receiving services, and this is based on the child's date of birth. Referrals can be submitted as early as 120 days before the child's first age eligibility date. For children born between January and June, referrals can be submitted as early as September 4th of the year before the child turns 3. This allows evaluations and CPSE meetings to be completed so that if the child is found eligible, they can begin receiving services by January 2nd of the year that they turn 3. For children born between July and December, referrals can be submitted as early as March 4th of the year that they turn 3. If found eligible for 12 months of special education services, they can begin receiving services by July 1st of the year they turn 3. And if their IEP recommends 10 months of services, they can begin as early as September of the year that they turn 3. Again, the DTS will not accept referrals submitted outside of these timelines. You will receive an error message stating that it is too early to submit a referral for this child. Please refrain from modifying child data, specifically the date of birth, to inappropriately transmit a referral to the CPSE. Note that notifications, consents, and other documents can be uploaded at any time. Now that we have established how soon referrals can be submitted, we want to emphasize that referrals should be submitted no later than 90 days before the child's 3rd birthday. Late referrals may not allow for evaluations and CPSE meetings to be completed before the child turns 3, which eliminates the option to extend EI services. We therefore strongly encourage making a referral as early as possible to ensure a smooth transition from EI to preschool. As mentioned earlier, one of the advantages of the DTS is that service coordinators input child and family information. Below are some key pieces of information that allows the DOE to prioritize outreach and provide additional support to families as appropriate. Information on the family's preferred language helps determine the language in which the evaluation packet documents will be created and how CPSE staff will communicate with the family. In the same vein, the primary language in which the child's EI evaluation was conducted in is helpful as DOE staff plan outreach to families. Please note that unlike in EI, exposure to a language does not necessarily require an evaluation in that language. The need for a bilingual preschool evaluation is determined by the home language survey administered by the selected MDE agency at the beginning of the evaluations. Next, the parent's email address is very useful because email is the fastest way to get the evaluation packet. DOE staff place high priority on supporting families in temporary housing and those who are in foster care. For families residing in shelters, a residency letter may be requested to establish the home district. For families in foster care, please note that surrogacy in EI does not apply to the CPSE process. While CPSEs can coordinate with foster parents, the CPSE must establish who has rights to make educational decisions and work with them during the process. The CPSE is a collaborative effort. Providing information and documentation on recent EI evaluations may expedite the process. For children who had EI evaluations completed within 6 months of the date of the referral, families can consent to share these evaluations with the CPSE. They can be uploaded through the DTS along with their referral. Families can then consent to allow the CPSE to use these assessments as part of the necessary evaluations to establish eligibility for preschool special education services. The CPSE may determine that other existing evaluations fulfill the requirements to establish eligibility or satisfy a component of the child's evaluation. To reduce unnecessary or duplicative evaluations, encourage families to give consent to share these EI evaluations. This may facilitate scheduling the CPSE meeting before the child turns 3 and prevent aging out if the child is found eligible for services. To wrap up this section, here are some key reminders regarding transmission of documents. Confirm that you have correctly entered the child's EI ID and other information. Incorrect entries may result in delays, which could lead to aging out. Please note that entering another child's information may result in the corruption or loss of information of that child's record. The DOE will then not be able to track the case and reach out to the family, which may lead to the child aging out. Each document must be identified individually and accurately to avoid delays in processing. You can submit as many as 20 documents for one child all at once. This saves you time and prevents data entry errors that cause delays. You must upload documents individually as you would with the NICE or other EI case management systems. Make sure file names do not contain special characters. If you have special characters that are not acceptable through the DTS, then it will not transmit that document. If you work for multiple agencies, double-check that you have selected the correct agency for that case. Confirm that you have either attached the proper consent form or previously uploaded them if a form that you are uploading needs that consent. Verify that the school district is correct. Please note that this is not the same as the CPSE region. Referrals must be submitted within the appropriate timelines, and early referrals are not accepted. Complying with guidance prevents delays in the CPSE process. If errors are flagged with DTS transmissions, a DOE EI Transition Coordinator or CPSE Community Coordinator will request SCs to resubmit documents. Your agency administrator will be included in the email as they oversee compliance with EIP policies, including DTS use, and can route the request if the case has been reassigned to another provider. Errors that require resubmission include, but are not limited to, documents received via email or fax, documents and information for another child were submitted or entered, documents were sent to the incorrect school district, document type is labeled incorrectly, document entries are not legible, documents contain inconsistent, conflicting, or inaccurate information, documents are missing information or parent or guardian signature, documents cannot be opened or viewed due to file formatting issues, and if the documents are uploaded, including multiple documents. You must correct the errors and resubmit the documents, and once you have resubmitted, please send a copy of the DTS confirmation for DOE follow-up. This next section will address some of the more frequently asked questions we have received from service coordinators. Am I expected to enter all of the child and family information fields for all forms? You are required to submit a response to all fields whenever your submission includes a notification or a referral form. If you're submitting documents other than the notification or referral, the following fields are required: the child's first name and last name, the child's EI ID number, the child's date of birth, and the home district. We want to emphasize that as much as possible, the entry for the child's name should reflect that which is in their birth certificate. This removes confusion, and it will be the name that will be recorded at the DOE. If you send over a notification and referral at the same time, you will only need to complete all fields once. You can send additional documents such as EI evaluation at a later time, and then you would need to complete the required fields listed above a second time. It is recommended that if you have several documents for one child, that they are all uploaded at once, as long as each document is uploaded as a separate file. And as a reminder, you can submit as many as 20 documents in one transmission. The DTS indicates which form types require signed parental consent forms, such as the consent for EI transmittal for EI evaluations and records, and the consent to obtain release information. When submitting documents like EI evaluations, medical forms, or other child and family information, you must include a signed parental consent form or check the box consent document previously uploaded that states that you have previously submitted one. As you can see here, if you check off that the consent document was previously uploaded, then you can submit the evaluation that's shown in here. If you are not able to check that consent document previously uploaded, or you're not uploading one along with this evaluation, then you cannot submit that form. If you do not have a signed consent form or you have not previously submitted one of these forms on behalf of the family, you must delete the document that required consent, and you must not transmit that document until a signed consent form is available to upload as well. Mark the field for parental consent field as no, and leave the fields that require parental consent blank. An important reminder, do not transmit these documents if the parent opts out or declines giving consent. Do not send a written notification or opt-out form if they opted out. If the parent declined notification or referral, please do not send the forms, as this will constitute a breach of confidentiality. What should you do if your transmission contains an error or is sent accidentally? If you submit documents that contain errors or accidentally submit a document with incomplete information or missing information, you cannot retrieve or modify that particular transmission. Remember, the DTS is one way and you cannot retrieve information that is already sent. You must then resubmit the documents with the updated correct information and also provide a cover letter briefly explaining why you're resubmitting the documents. After resubmission with the cover letter, you should email the CPSE chairperson and/or the community coordinator, notifying them that you have resubmitted this child's documents. CPSE chairperson and community coordinator emails are on the DOE website's Committees on Special Education page. In this email, please indicate the child's date of birth and NICE ID. What should you do if you need to communicate new information to the DOE after submitting documents to the DTS? Follow regular EIP policies and procedures regarding communication with the CPSE. If this means resubmitting documentation when changes occur, follow all usual procedures as you would have with a fax machine, but now using the DTS. If you have questions about EIP or agency procedures, please contact your supervisor. How should parents submit referrals to the DOE? Parents are encouraged to work with their STs to submit referrals via the DTS, as this is more secure. This also provides DOE staff with important information about the child, family, and ST, facilitating outreach and support through the transition process. Parents, however, may choose to submit referrals directly to the CPSE using contact information found on the DOE website's Committees on Special Education page. The DTS is only for EI agency administrators and service coordinators and cannot be used by families. When parents refer their child directly, they should inform the CPSE that they are receiving EI services so that they can access DOE supports for families transitioning from EI. If you're having an issue transmitting a referral to DTS and a child is aging out very soon, can you just email it to the CPSE? The answer is no. As of August 2020, all EI providers must use the DTS exclusively to transfer documents to the DOE. Please do not email or fax any documents to the CPSE. If you have any issues using the DTS, please refer to the troubleshooting section of the Guide to the Document Transfer System to try and resolve the issue. If you are unsuccessful, email your responses to the questions in the troubleshooting section of the guide to Preschool Sped Systems Help at schools.nyc.gov. The DOE's EI transition team will work with you before considering other options. Depending on the information you provide, they may schedule a troubleshooting session with you via Microsoft Teams. Be prepared to share your screen so that you can demonstrate the issues you are experiencing. There is a link here for a video that you can use if you're not familiar with that screen sharing feature, and sessions may be recorded to further support resolution of the problem. If issues cannot resolve, then the EI transition team will provide instructions so that the CPSE can receive your documents. The CPSE will not accept referrals directly from EISCs. How can you find out about the status of a referral? And what should parents do when what should you do when parents tell you that the packet of documents have not been received for their evaluations? You can reach out to the CPSE using the contact information found on the DOE website's Committee on Special Education page. Share a copy of the DTS confirmation you received after uploading the documents, and this contains information about the child and the transmission. We need the confirmation document itself instead of you giving us information on the confirmation number. That is not helpful with following up. The thing that you need to do is to share a copy of the DTS confirmation. For families who shared an email address, please speak with the family before reaching out to the CPSE. Ask them to check if they received and responded to the CPSE's request to use electronic mail to send them the packet. A CPSE will not be able to mail the packet without the parents' consent. Have them search their email, including their spam and junk folders, for the electronic packet. The best way to search for that is to enter in their search bar schools.nyc.gov, and they will be able to find emails from DOE staff. Please note that DOE EI transition coordinators do not process referrals or send evaluation packets. That is the responsibility of the CPSEs. However, you may request EI transition coordinators to support your outreach to the CPSEs. For troubleshooting and technical support is available to all EI providers who have a DTS account. If you do not have a DTS account, you must contact your agency's DTS administrator, who must send you an invitation so you can create your profile. You can begin using the DTS once your profile is created. For questions about specific documents and cases, you should contact your supervisor. For questions about the guide to the document transfer system or issues regarding access to the DTS, please email preschool sped systems help at schools.nyc.gov. Please remember that this inbox is for providers only and should not be shared with families. If there are general inquiries and issues not related to the DTS, please use the email EI to preschool@schools.nyc.gov. Before contacting the DOE, please check with your agency to make sure that there are no network or technical issues occurring at the agency level. If this is not the case, then again email the Preschool Sped Systems Help at schools.nyc.gov inbox to attempt to resolve the issue. If needed, you will be directed to contact the NYC DOE Help Desk at 718-935-5100. Regarding troubleshooting, please refer to the troubleshooting section of the guide to the document transfer system to try and resolve the issue. If your attempts are unsuccessful, like we said, email Preschool Sped Systems Help, include your responses to the questions related to the issue you are experiencing. And we will, of course, invite you to a troubleshooting session if that is not successful. For general reminders, we recommend clearing your browsing history when attempting to troubleshoot the issues. Use only approved browsers and try other ones if the browser you're using does not work. Make sure that you are signing in with the email address that you used to create your profile, because this is your name. Your username cannot be changed. And use the most recent version of Adobe for PDFs and be mindful of the file size to avoid any issues with uploading documents. Here are some final notes to ensure that there is continuity of services for the children that you are serving. The best way to prevent gaps in service is through the submission of referrals in a timely manner. We hope that the information you received regarding the referral timelines and appropriate use of the DTS will help you support the smooth transition of families and children to preschool. Families benefit most when their progress is monitored regularly and they are supported every step of the way. Unless the family opts out, it is very helpful to submit a notification of potential eligibility to the CPSE so that DOE staff can reach out to families as soon as possible and provide support as soon as possible. We can work together to help families understand all of their preschool options so they can access special education services in inclusive settings where children with and without disabilities learn together and thrive. Now, here are the resources that are available to you to support the families. This first resource was created specifically to support families transitioning from EI, the DOE Early Intervention Transition Team. The team of EI transition coordinators has two primary goals. We want to ensure continuity of services after EI, and we want to increase families' access to preschool options in the least restrictive environment. Transition coordinators do this by proactively reaching out to families and responding to inquiries. They serve as liaisons between the EI offices and the CPSEs, and they conduct workshops for families and our partners. To contact a transition coordinator or TC for support, you can call or text our helpline at 646-389-7171 or email EI to preschool@schools.nyc.gov. Remember that this email is for general inquiries only, and if you have issues with DTS, use the preschool sped systems help at schools.nyc.gov email. When you reach out to a transition coordinator, the team is available from Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., but you can reach out at any time and someone will get back to you during business hours. The EI transition team also created a great resource, the second edition of the DOE Guide to the EI to Preschool Transition. This guide contains information about inclusive preschool options, including 3K and pre-K, as well as information on the transition process to CPSE. For future reference, you can find this guide on the DOE website on the Moving to Preschool page. You can scroll down to the section on transitioning from early intervention, and translations in all DOE languages are available here. Here is another page that is very helpful. This is on the Committee on Special Education. Contact information can be found on the DOE website's Committees on Special Education page. You can reach out to CPSE community coordinators, CPSE administrators, or CSE chairperson for support. To find the school district where the family resides, you can enter the family's address on this tool, the Geographic Online Address Translator, and go to the City Service Information section, which shows the district information. Please note that the school district is different from the CPSE region. The next resource is the Family Guide to Preschool Special Education Services. You will also find this guide on the DOE website's Moving to Preschool page with translations in all the DOE languages. For 3K and Pre-K for All, including Head Start, program information and contacts and for 3K and Pre-K for All applications can be found on myschools.nyc. For application support, families can contact or visit our family welcome centers. They can call 718-935-2009 or dial 311, or they can email esenrollment@schools.nyc.gov. To learn more about applying in 3K programs, benefits, and services, they can go to schools.nyc.gov, enroll grade by grade page, and go to the 3K section. That concludes our presentation on the DTS. For DTS support, of course, contact Preschool SPED Systems Help at schools.nyc.gov, and you can also refer to the guide to the document transfer system. For any questions from EI to preschool, you can contact the EI transition team, specifically transition coordinators, through our helpline at 646-389-7171, or email us at ei2preschool@schools.nyc.gov. Feel free to share our information that is in the DOE guide to the EI to preschool transition, second edition. Share this QR code with families so everyone can access the information that is available to them, and you can support the families for a smooth transition to preschool. Thank you very much, and feel free to join us at other webinars and review our resources.